Yeah, we can start now.
Great. Firstly, thank you so much, Amir, not just for doing this interview, but really for making a film that is going to be more than a film. And I think you'll see the effects of it in the next few
Hmm.
weeks.
Hmm.
And it's going to be a huge responsibility for you as well. But
Yeah.
I think you're up to it because anyone who can make a film like this on such a subject with so much sensitivity obviously understands all the
Hmm.
implications of
Hmm.
working with,
Hmm.
working in this area. So
Hmm.
my first question really to you, Amir, is why did you choose this? Because after Lal Singh Chadda, the late lamented Lal Singh Chadda,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, it would have been so much easier for you to
Hmm.
chase the trend rather than buck it.
Yeah.
Uh, of course, I know you're not one who has followed trends, yet to choose a subject which you know will be so full of so many pitfalls and just getting it right is so
Hmm.
difficult.
Hmm.
So, talk to me about why you chose this.
Kaveri, the fact is that, like everyone else, I'm also a practical person.
Yeah,
And when Lal Singh did not do well, I was quite depressed, and then it took me a while to recover from that. Um, and then, you know, as you know, originally this is a Spanish film called Champions.
right.
And I had seen the film Champions when Prasanna showed it to me and he came to me with the project. I just fell in love with it. I just fell in love with it. And I knew that this is going to be a difficult film to make. It's going to be difficult to promote. It's going to be a film, especially in a time like this when people are not coming to theaters.
Right.
It's, in any case, a uphill task. So I was aware of all of that. But, you know, I have one problem in me. When something enters my bloodstream na, as a creative person, I
Mm,
cannot do anything else. I have to do that. There is nothing else that I can do until that comes out. And that's
mm,
what happened to me with this film. So I knew that I'm taking a big risk. I knew that I'm not doing a wise and practical thing. I was aware of that. But I couldn't do anything else. I just had to do this because I fell in love with it. I just fell in love with it.
right.
There's no other answer to that. So I'm not a person who's very practical, finally, as it turns out, because the same thing happened to me in Dangal.
Yeah.
The same thing happened to me in Sitaare Zameen Par. These are stories which are not mainstream, obvious mainstream cinema choices, or for that matter, Lagan. These are not obvious mainstream choices, which once the story enters my bloodstream, I cannot, I just have to do it. So then that's what I do.
And once you started on the undertaking, I mean, it became a huge process, right? I mean,
Yes.
I think there's talk that you auditioned 2,000 people,
Mm,
then getting the spectrum right, getting
mm.
the terms right. These are all very sensitive terms.
Yes,
Each
yes, yes.
term has so much behind it and so
Mm,
much trauma as well. And
mm.
you get even one thing wrong, and
Yes, it's
uh,
a
you know,
responsibility. It's a
yeah, it's a huge
responsibility.
responsibility. So once you started embarked on the project, did you
Mm.
understand again its how
Implications.
humongous it was and its implications?
Yeah, I have to say one thing that when your niyat is right na, I don't know how to say it in English. जब आपकी
Yeah,
नीयत
yeah.
सही होती है ना,
बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल.
तो फिर ये सब चीजें unimportant हो जाती हैं. When your intention, niyat is intention actually. When your
Yeah.
intention is pure, then these things don't become such a big problem because people also understand
Hmm.
straight away your intention because that is something that comes through without any explanation required.
Right.
When I see a person's work, I come to know his intention,
Yeah.
you know. So I feel that when you're doing it with the right intention, then these things should not become a burden. You might make some wrong terms, you might use a wrong term, but the fact is that people understand the deeper intention of what you're doing. So that is one aspect. Of course, we had an expert with us who was guiding us all through the way.
Who
Uh,
was the expert?
I'm forgetting her name. I'll just give you in 1 second. I'll give you her name.
Hmm.
Meena, was it? I'm so bad with names.
That's
Should I make
okay.
a call and check?
No, no, it's okay. I'll
Okay,
check
yeah,
later.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I'll tell you that later.
yeah,
So she was helping us, and she was a big help, and she's been with us right through, guiding us in this. Plus, we had test screenings. So, we showed the film to Jai Vakil Foundation. I'm just naming one of them.
right.
Many such foundations and people who have been working in this field for decades. We shared the film with them, called them, showed them the film, uh, took their feedback. And, in one or two places, we made some changes uh, based on their reaction.
Right.
Mm. So that process was followed. Um, but I have to say that in terms of filmmaking, nothing extra or special needed to be done. So we
Hmm.
went through the casting process like we go through for every actor, every character
Right,
that we're casting for. In this case, we needed people with intellectual disabilities,
right.
neuroatypical people was what we required. So the casting director, Tess, her name is Tess, she was, sensitized about this, and she went about it, putting the word out, looking for actors who are neurodivergent. So that casting process was followed. The 10 Sitare that you finally see in the film have come through that casting process.
Right.
And thereafter, let me also add over here that we needed not just 10 neurodivergent actors. We needed probably 100 because
Yeah,
they play about 10 matches, through
exactly.
the
And they're
film, there are many,
all
many
with,
matches. And
yeah,
the
yeah,
opponents, we needed 10 players, who are neurodivergent. So in any
exactly.
case, almost all the people who were tested, finally could be a part of the film in that
Right,
sense. A
right.
lot of them were included in the film.
Yeah,
And they went through a rehearsal process with Prasanna, the director. Prasanna was very keen to rehearse them separately, uh, away from me. So
away from it.
yeah, usually I rehearse with the actors,
Right.
but this is the first time that I was rehearsing separately. I was rehearsing with Genelia and with Dolly. A couple of times we rehearsed, but I'd never rehearsed with the champions.
Good.
With the
Yeah,
10 sitares, I never rehearsed, and they were rehearsing separately. So when we came on set, that was really the first time that I was now interacting with them,
right.
and I have to say that it went so smoothly. A lot of people ask me that, did it take very long to work with actors who are neurodivergent? And the fact is that it's not so. They were
Right.
bang on. They had learned their lines. They were very excited to be part of a film. And the beauty about them is they are themselves. You know,
Yeah,
they are themselves, and they did a really amazing job. So not a minute was wasted because of us having 10 neurodivergent actors on set. Uh,
right.
it's I don't know whether people really understand what I'm saying.
No, it's a
It's a big thing.
tremendous thing.
It's a
Yeah,
big
I
thing.
mean,
You must remember that one
experienced
of these 10,
actors.
you must
Yeah.
remember that one of these 10 is from Kerala. He speaks Malayalam as his mother tongue.
Oh, okay.
He does not know Hindi.
The Dai guy.
The guy who is afraid of water,
Acha, oh, really? Oh, that's
Gopi.
right.
Gopi in
Yeah,
the film is called Guddu.
Gopi.
So
Yeah,
so
good do.
so Guddu in the film, his real name is Gopi. Gopi is doesn't speak Hindi.
Okay.
So he had to actually say lines which were not his own mother tongue, a
Hmm,
language he's not familiar with. If you tell me to do
hmm,
that, I also find it tough.
hmm.
So here you have a neurodivergent actor acting in a language that is not his own. I mean, what more proof that you need that
Right.
they are very capable, very capable.
What was your first reaction on set when you were faced with these champions? Was it Gulshan's reaction or was it you as
No, no, me as myself. It was me as myself. I'm someone who's not like Gulshan. I'd like to I'd like to
although I have to say
believe
Gulshan, despite everything, is very likable.
he's an endearing guy. He's
Yeah,
an
he's
endearing
quite,
guy. You
yeah,
know, you know
he's
that he's made up of all kinds of things, but his heart is in the right place.
right.
His heart is in the right
Complex,
place.
but cool, sweet person. I
He's
mean,
a sweet guy.
eventually.
Eventually, he's a sweet guy. He's
Yeah.
also
So
got
what
his
was
own triggers. He's got his
yeah,
own. His father left him when he was 8, so obviously he's grown up
Exactly.
with a lot of rejection, you know, and that has hit him hard. So he's become what he has also as a result of what he faced as a child,
Right.
you know.
In fact, Gulshan himself is a test case of someone who has so many issues, you know.
Yes, yes, many issues.
Uh, and a lot of people will identify themselves with Gulshan. So
Yes, yes.
it's very, I think the way you've managed to show him
Hmm.
evolving by helping other people and by giving and receiving love is very important. We talk a
Yeah.
lot about the neurodivergent kids, but Gulshan's own journey is actually quite, is
The
also
journey is his,
something to,
actually. The journey is
yes,
his. The 10
yeah,
neurodivergent kids in the people in the film, they don't change. They are themselves right through.
yeah.
He is
They're
the guy
just
who starts,
transparent and pure.
yeah,
He's the one who
who starts somewhere and ends
becomes
somewhere. Yeah.
wonderful.
Hmm.
So I think you'll get a lot of feedback from people like Gulshan also, which is a lot
Yes.
of us. A
Sure,
lot of
sure.
us have these issues. And yeah, so your first reaction is Amir
Huh.
when you met them and
Well, I just, they are so loving. Each
uh,
one of them is so loving. They also had seen my films. They were fans of my work, so they were excited to be with me. And the first day was just me, connecting with them. You know, uh, off camera, I was myself with them. I was as
right,
loving as they were to me. I was loving with them. And then I think what happened is that I realized very quickly that they don't want to be handled any differently. They don't need to be handled any differently.
yeah,
So so I was interacting with them as I would interact with any other co-star.
right,
So there were many times when I would, react to them. Like sometimes once I forgot a line and I was like, sorry, sorry, sorry. So Ashish, who plays the role of Sunil, he said,
mm.
कोई बात नहीं सर, बड़े बड़े लोगों में बड़े बड़े लोग क्या बड़े बड़े लोगों से छोटी छोटी गलतियां हो जाती हैं. He's telling me.
So cool.
Yeah, yeah. And then when I used to feel that someone of them is, kind of overacting, so then I would tell them, in a very free way, कि क्या overacting कर रहा है सुनील? ठीक से कर. You know, so it was a very casual way of working, like I would with
Right,
any other person.
right,
You know,
yeah,
the fact is that they don't need any mollycoddling.
yeah,
They just need what all of us need, which is respect, love, and warmth.
right,
That's all.
right,
That's what all of us
right.
need.
Yeah. So, Amir, I wanted to ask you about putting this out there. It's a piece of you, it's a
Hmm.
piece of them, their responsibility, your own responsibility to yourself, and also to your fans. I think there
Sure.
are legions of them. What does it feel like to let something like this just go out into the world? I cannot imagine, it's such a big thing
Yeah.
to just as a filmmaker, I'm sure you're used to it, but still it's a big thing to let something that's so personal out into the world.
Yeah. Well, that is entirely true. Yeah. So I think that, when the film released, all of us, me, the 10 Sitare, Prasanna, the writer, Divya, all of us, the entire team was very vulnerable. I have to say, we were very vulnerable as the release date came about. And, I think the kind of response we got from the first show, the kind of love that started flowing in, uh, really made us feel nice. It really made us feel that, it was all worth it and the hard work was really paying off.
Yeah.
Uh, Especially, the letter I shared with you before we started
Yes.
the interview. When you get reactions like this now, it's beyond cinema. It's beyond,
Right.
so yeah, I think having allowed ourselves to be vulnerable, having allowed ourselves to show so many things of ours out there, share with the audience, has been a rewarding experience. I think it has been very rewarding.
Yeah.
Mm.
It restores one's faith in humanity.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, the kind of reaction the film is getting, especially at a time when everyone was telling me if it's not an action film, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
So the fact that people are just loving the film and giving it their wholehearted love is so encouraging and so reaffirming. You know, it brings
So,
back your belief in stories, yeah.
yeah.
And
And in
humanity
stories
and
told,
humanity.
yes, I think humanity is the most important thing at a
Yeah,
time when we're going through so much and everything
in
seems to be
everything.
in pieces. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the larger message of love and
Hmm.
no judgment, which is something that we've forgotten, I mean, one could only expect someone like you to make that point.
Hmm.
But you also knew that it was taking a risk because
It's a
the
tough risk, yeah.
the times seem to be so full of toxicity and hatred. It's
Hmm.
a fact whether one likes it or
Hmm.
not.
Hmm.
So to send a message of pure love out there
Hmm.
and no judgment, it's a very difficult thing to do, to go against the tide, isn't it?
It is. But I think all of us, Kaveri, it doesn't matter who we are. Each one of us has to follow what is our instinct, our heart. So that's what we did. I think that's what the team of Sitaare did. We just followed our heart. And
I,
it's not easy, but we did it. And I'm proud of the fact that the whole team did that.
Amir, how much of it how much of it reflects your own struggles with your own mental health, which you've talked about quite
Mm,
openly?
mm, mm.
Did you also somehow feel that being reflected in this, or your own journey in a way, coming to terms with all the flaws
Uh,
that one has?
Not really. I mean, I would like to say it's connected,
Mm.
but no, I would say that my own journey, personally, in understanding myself and uh, what I am through therapy that I've been doing for 4 years now, has been a very important journey for me. And I have to say that that is irrespective of this film. That is irrespective of this film. And uh, and I mean, none of us can even none of us can even begin to compare ourselves with whatever issues we may have. We cannot compare ourselves to the challenges that a neurodivergent person faces. It's a totally different world, so it'll be unfair of me to compare my own journey with a person who's neurodivergent in that comparison. I don't think that I
Right.
can compare myself with that. But what is true is that, all of us have our own insecurities, our deepest fears, things that trigger us, you know. And I really believe that all of us are somewhere or the other on the spectrum only.
I think so.
All of us are somewhere or the other on the spectrum. Some of us are more obvious and some of us are less obvious, you know.
Yeah.
But the fact is that all of us are there on the spectrum, somewhere or the other. And I think through Gulshan's journey, we could see a lot of that.
Right.
Mm.
Right. And Amir, what now for you? This movie is out. I know that there's a documentary on them, which I hope we will also get to see. It'll be wonderful
Oh,
to see that. I think that'll
you
again be
know, you've touched upon a
heartbreaking.
topic. See, when we started this film, I told my team that I said I want to film to hum bana hi rahe hain.
Gee,
But these 10 people have, in their own journey,
yeah,
from where they were born, they have always been segregated and kept aside. For the first time, these 10 people are now going to be working in the mainstream. This is
yes,
before we started the film, by the way.
right,
I said these 10 people are going to be working in mainstream. एक मेन स्ट्रीम सेट की शूटिंग पे जो 300 लोग होते हैं उनमें ये 10 लोग अभी शामिल हो जाएंगे. And these 10 people have a journey of their own. How did they make it
exactly.
till here? How did that journey caused them to reach this space, this stage, is what I was interested in. So we selected a young, very enthusiastic filmmaker who's been my intern for the last many years. His name is Sonu Bakshi, and he was given the job of doing this documentary. And this documentary is about the 10
These,
these
the
10
10
these
champions,
10 Sitare, but more importantly, Kaveri, it is their
their
parents.
families,
It is their
family.
parents.
Yeah,
So, like in the Spanish film, the title is called Champions.
right.
Who are the real champions?
Yeah,
The real champions, Kaveri, are the parents of these
absolutely.
uh, neurodivergent, you know, people. It is the parents who've been through that journey from the very beginning. So I felt it's very important to make a documentary कि फिल्म तो हमको हंसाएगी, हमको बहुत सारी चीजें, इंपॉर्टेंट चीजें बताएगी, लेकिन जो एक डॉक्यूमेंट्री का जो पावर है ना, when you see a real couple,
Yeah,
when they have a child, what was their first reaction, how did that journey begin for them? So this is the
see,
documentary we have made for 10 of those families. It's those 10 families. That's the documentary. And as we speak, when I go back to Bombay in the next 2-3 days, I'm going to watch the first cut. And within the next few
wow.
months, we'll be releasing that. I wouldn't call it a documentary, because the moment you say documentary, people,
Yeah, people think, yeah,
पता नहीं कुछ boring चीज आने वाली है. The fact is that it's real life. I would say it's reality. जो हम लोग बोलते हैं ना आजकल reality TV. It's reality TV. No, not TV.
reality.
It's reality life. This is a real life of these 10 people, which
Yeah,
we are going to get to see in the next 3 months or so, hopefully. So I'm very excited about that. You're absolutely right. In fact, you're the first person
same
who knows
here.
about it. No one knows about it also.
Yeah,
You're the
yeah.
first person who knows
But
about it.
yeah, but Amit, I think this is such an important thing. The
Hmm.
caregivers are often people who we forget. And
Yeah, no, the
the
caregivers
trauma
are the
that they
heroes.
suffer is
They are
something
the
that we
heroes.
actually don't talk about. The
Yeah,
caregivers are the biggest heroes, you know,
absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
the pain that they go through, and I think the validation that they must have got with your film. I saw, you
Hmm.
know, them holding posters, Sitare ki
Hmm.
maa, Sitare ka papa. I mean,
Yeah,
how wonderful it must
yeah,
have been
yeah,
for
yeah.
them, no?
No, no, absolutely, absolutely.
Because you know their lives are in the shadows, you know,
Hmm.
they're always in the shadows,
Yes,
much more
absolutely right.
than their kids.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
something that they are so, it's so
Hmm.
difficult for them to talk about. So
Hmm.
I'm so happy you're doing this. And
Yeah.
then after that, what next?
Well, after that, I've
So
signed.
much for you to do.
I've signed just one film, which is Lokesh's film. He's a director from Tamil cinema. So
Yeah,
his
yeah.
film is something I'm doing
Congrats,
next year.
right?
Next year, September is when we are starting.
Yeah.
So I have about a year and about 15 months in
Oh,
between. And there are a number of projects which I'm looking at. One is Raju Hirani's film on a biopic on Dada Saheb Phalke.
oh,
There's
wow.
also a biopic on Kishore Kumar, which I'm very serious about, which is being directed by
Mm,
Anurag Basu.
okay.
Uh, and so, and there are a number of other scripts that I've yet to go through. So I'm not mentioning all of them, but just to mention a few. So I'll be
Yeah.
deciding very soon which one goes on floor next. I'm not sure
So
yet.
when is Lokesh's film? Next year?
Next year, September.
Okay,
That's
okay.
15 months away. That's at least 15 months away.
So you have
So in the meantime, I've got some. I
right.
could do a film in the meantime. I could.
So you can squeeze in a film between that.
I could. If all goes well, yeah, I could.
Great. How wonderful. And really, all the very best. Yeah.
Thank you so
All
much,
the very
Kaveri.
best. It's been a great 60th year. A great
Yeah.
60th year. I hope many, many more
Yeah.
years of filmmaking. No talk of retirement, please. I think nobody wants to hear that from you. So please
Yeah.
stop talking about it.
No. Well, I had to go through that, so I went through that moment also.
Yeah, I think
Mm.
but you're on the other side now, I think.
I'm on the other side now. Yeah.
Are you still doing therapy? Does that help you?
Oh, yeah. Very much so. It's something that I'm going to
Okay.
continue all my life. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that just that talking and it's part of the healing, right?
absolutely. Absolutely. It makes you
Is
so
that
clear about
with
yourself.
your is that with your cousin or is there another person
No,
that
no,
you're
no, no. So I go to a therapist, not my cousin. So
okay.
Nuzat is close and she's someone who interacts. I
Understands.
spend time with in any case, but in therapy, they're very particular about all of this, that you can't be
Right.
related and all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your
Thank
time
you.
and thank you again. I'm so happy I got to see